What a wonderful little life we live. Or big life. What an expansive life. Hi, my name is Lauren. Welcome back to my channel. I am your resident intuitive baddie. And I'm back from a little hiatus. This is gonna be more of a life update, stream of consciousness, kind of recounting. And if you're watching this right now, there is probably something in my story that can be reflected in yours. That's why you're here, viewing me talk. So strap in, as I have no idea how long this video is gonna be. I have no plans for it. I'm just gonna talk. So yeah, where's Lauren been? I think I've made 2 videos that, at the time of me recording this, I've uploaded but haven't actually put out. And yeah, it's so interesting because I had gotten to a point where I was making so many videos at one point that I was able to release one almost like every day or every other day. And then there was a period where I kind of just felt like I just didn't want to make any. And I know I made a video and posted about that. That might have been my last video, actually. And yeah, I've been kind of like on a hiatus since. I very much somebody who doesn't force anymore. So when it felt like I didn't want to do videos, I just didn't make videos because it wasn't that serious. I'm on my YouTube journey because this is something, if you're seeing my face for the first time or you haven't been watching me that long, I started making videos mainly as a means to improve my speech. I followed this communication coach, Vin Jang. I hope I pronounced that right. I still don't know if I pronounced his last name right. And one of the exercises he suggests is to record yourself and to listen to yourself talk so that you can, it's like you're supposed to do it twice. You're supposed to listen without watching the video so that you can kind of catch if you're doing like filler words and stuff like that. And then you're supposed to watch again and like actually look at your body language and those certain things, right? So when I decided to do that, I was like, let me just upload the videos. And then I started having a lot of fun with it. And then, yeah, I just started making videos whenever it felt right. So if I felt like doing a reading, or if there was a specific lesson or something that I had gone through that I wanted to share and document, then I would just record and put it out. And then if there were some certain things that I wanted to teach too, then again, I would record it and put it out. Or there were some that I tried to script, specifically ones where I felt like I wanted to teach something specific. I would try to map it out, but kind of I do remember kind of struggling with that, because then it started to feel robotic, or I would kind of overthink, because I'd be trying to like, it just always flows better when it's off the cusp. Is that the term? But yeah, I'm still looking for the balance between the two, because in a video like this, sometimes when I speak kind of when I'm freestyling or like free channeling, sometimes I feel like I miss certain things, and then I'll stop the video and I'm like, I was supposed to say this. So yeah, I'm trying to find the balance in between like a structure, but not too structured. See, this is it. This is it. I go into tangents. I hope this is fun for you. Anyways, so I had been feeling that way, and then something really beautiful happened where, in the most synchronistic way, I met somebody. And okay, I'll try to sum it up best I can without getting too into the details. Basically, if you remember a few videos back, by now it's been like 2 months or so, but my car had gotten broken into, and that led to a bunch of series of events of beautiful different things happening. And one of those things was, there was a point where I was like, I'm gonna sell my car. I thought, and I think that's what the video that I had put out was that I was feeling as though I was ready to let go of my car. And I was talking about kind of all the lessons that I had learned from my car. So yeah, in wanting to sell my car, or thinking that I needed to sell my car, I had a mat in the back that I needed to replace, because a couple years ago, when I used to be good at cleaning my car and consistent at it, I think I took out all the mats to vacuum or like to shampoo them, and I left one of them by accident, and I didn't notice for a while. So yeah, there was the mat directly behind the driver's seat. That passenger, so the passenger in the back on the driver's side. You need to know that information. Yeah, so I went on Marketplace and I bought these mats from this guy. I told him I was going to sell my car, or that I was looking to sell my car, and he offered to help. So we had been going back and forth about the car for a couple of weeks, and then May 15th comes, Iceman drops. The next day, I message this man, and I'm like, I don't think I can sell my car anymore because the speakers are too crisp. And Iceman deserves better. And yeah, it was so funny because when I was typing out this message, I was like, this guy's gonna laugh at me. And then he asked my favorite song. My favorite song was, at the time, yeah, it was literally the next day. So I told him what I had thought initially, and then a couple days kind of passed. We're still like kind of going back and forth about the car a little bit, and then once I had gotten a good listen, then I kind of referred back to the earlier conversation, and then I told him what my favorite songs were. So then he asked what else I listened to, and from there, then we had started talking pretty much every single day for a week. And it was like, as the week progressed, it was just like, oh, I think I really like this guy. I really like this guy. See, this is one of those times where I'm like, this isn't how I said it. I really like this nigga. That's what it actually was. I was like, yo, I like this nigga. What's happening? And yeah, there was just like a lot of things in alignment where we were talking about certain things, and it's just like, there were so many things that he said that are things or conclusions that I've come to before. Or like, I would be thinking something and he'd say it, or vice versa. I would say something and he's like, oh wait, me too. So yeah, just like a lot of mirroring energy. And then with music, specifically on that album, there was one night I was singing I was singing Don't Worry from Iceman in the shower. And then the next morning he sends me like a screenshot of the song, and he's just like, oh, this song goes hard. I woke up singing it, and I was just like, what is happening? And yeah, there was just like a lot of moments where I was just like, this is so eerily perfect. And then eventually we did meet up, and we were both nervous because, you know, texting is one thing, but whether it was going to translate into the physical was the question we both had. And um, it translated. It definitely translated. And yeah, it was very beautiful. And we were both in being nervous. Something he had said was that, you know, it's scary to have somebody check all your boxes because you just don't want to fuck it up. And I remember when he said it, it really resonated. So I'm telling you this, but it's so funny because I think it just ended. And it was such an accelerated time because, like, we were talking for a week, and then after we met, we saw each other every single day for a week. And then yeah, I guess we started dating. Um that was maybe like 2 weeks ago, or I don't know. I don't even know. It was just really fast. And then we started to run into snags really fast as well. And it's interesting because what I'm realizing today is that this feels like it was almost like a test to see if I was going to respond differently than I have in the past. Because I have come from a lot of relationships, and this doesn't just translate to romantic. This is platonic as well, and professionally as well, where I tend to make myself small to keep somebody. Or, yeah, like I dim my light so that other people can feel comfortable. And this was just different. It started off in such a, just the way that it had come in was so divinely guided. And in the very, like, when it first happened, I was like, oh my God, this must be it. This is my soulmate. This is the one. And it made a lot of sense. And there was something very calm about it. In comparison to, I guess, my very last experience, which was very, very tumultuous. Lightning in the background. I don't know if you noticed the flash back there. However, when we started to hit turbulence, what was different this time is that every time it felt like I needed to show up for myself, I did so unapologetically. And yeah, in the past, I think there are so many times that I had folded, or there's so many times where I felt bad, or I would try to go out of my way to fix things or to over-explain myself. And don't get me wrong, there was at least 1 or 2 moments where I did get caught up in that, but this time was different because I was able to really express myself this time anytime something went wrong, and to do it respectfully, and then to give the other person a chance to kind of figure things out for themselves. And instead of trying to make them see my point of view, it's like I was cognizant of when breathing room was needed, and then I was also cognizant of making sure that I didn't abandon myself. And the past few days, there was a lot of challenge, and every time that he kind of pulled away, I just let him. And the way that I, and the reason why I was like, I think it just ended because so far there's just this pattern of him saying that he wants to end it or leave, and then after he has a bit of time to kind of sit with whatever it was that happened, he he tends to come back. So um, I'm not sure if that's what's gonna happen, and I'm really just in a place where it doesn't matter. And when I say that, I know it sounds very harsh. It sounds very cold. But really what it is detached. I am in such a place of detachment right now. And I guess the reason why I'm making this stream of consciousness video about this is because I'm fucking proud of myself, bro. Oh my god, like I truly understand. It's not, you know what it is? It's like, because I was about to say, I truly understand my value. I'm pretty sure I've made this video, or like I've said this in a video before, where I feel like I truly understand my value and my worth. And I think, not I think, I really feel now that I've really shed that part of me, or I've really let go of that part of me that needed external validation to let me know how I was doing, or if things were still magical, if that makes sense. There's been a lot of moments since this car break-in. Like I really find that car break-in to have been a big turning point in my life, because which I when I made the video about it, I had said, because ever since then, I there's nothing that can happen where I'm truly upset about it, if that makes sense. What I mean to say is, like, I almost look at everything as something that is pushing me on my path. So that being said, I mean, it's just like I'm in a point of my experience where it's just like everything is beautiful. I'm like, everything that happens, whether it's something where I'm supposed to experience some level of pain or discomfort, as well as happiness, it's like it's kind of all the same. It's all, I'm grateful for all of it, because even now, looking back at my life, I really recognize that literally every single thing that has happened in my life has brought me to this moment right here. So anytime I experience something good, how can I neglect the fact that something bad also had to happen for me to get here? I guess okay, so a beautiful way that I can put this, or a great way that I can exemplify this, is actually something I said to this guy, where I had told him how I said something about, like, how, think about how many things had to happen for this meeting to happen, right? It's like, one, I had to buy a Mercedes, and then I had to lose that mat, and then I had to get divorced. My car had to get broken into for me to even be in the mind frame of selling the car. There's like all those things that had to happen and had to align for me to even had met that guy. And it's just like, when you start looking at life that way, you really start to understand that everything is a blessing. And I think a lot of people have a hard time with this, because we get so caught up, I want to say, so caught up in how positive or negative an experience feels in the moment that we leave that label on it, and then we dwell on that label. And you know, like that just kind of is a reflection of whatever's going on inside, right? Law of correspondence. So yeah, I'm like, oh no. All that to say, I'm just at a point in my life where I am unwavered. It's like whatever enters, whatever exits, I just know that everything has its timing, and I'm very understanding of it. So if that's the last time I ever talk to him, it's like I'm grateful for that experience. Why? Because it taught me that, or it was an experience for me to truly prove to myself that I know my value. And I am not negotiating with anyone about it. It doesn't matter how perfect somebody seems for me. If they are meant to be in my life, I shouldn't have to change myself in order for them to stay. And yeah, it's like, it's just that. It's just plain and simple. But that's not a lesson that you can just learn by hearing it from someone else. It's something you can only really gain from experience. And I feel like in this past year, there's so many experiences that I've allowed myself to have. And even though I couldn't understand them in the moment, there were times of extreme pain, and there were times of extreme happiness as well. Like there's just so much extremities of emotions that I was able to experience that led me to this. So yeah, if you're listening to this, I would assume that you, on some level, I think we all have access to being able to reach this type of, I'd say, enlightenment. That's the word that's kind of coming to mind right now. So if you were somebody desiring to get to this place where you can exist and it's just always a great time, when you're going through these tough times, just know that whether you understand why it's happening now, or you understand it 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, it's always happening for you. And that is something that is easier said than done. And all I can say is it's a beautiful journey. It's a beautiful journey once you make it through there. Before I end this off, something else that's coming to mind. I actually might have made a video about this already. I'm not sure. Because I make videos on TikTok as well. So I've been a little bit more consistent there still. A little less than before, because there was a point where I was putting out like 3 videos a day on there. Anyways, so there is this guy, his name, I believe, is Robert Edward Grant. And he talks about how if we are from source, right? Source, universe, God, however you want to explain it, all-knowing, all-perfect being, right? Formless as well. If you are all-knowing, and a perfect being, wouldn't you wonder what it's like to not know or to be imperfect. And his theory, which is a theory that really, really resonates with me, is that the reason why we are here down on earth is specifically to experience limitation. And it is through experiencing limitation that we're able to understand the opposite. So the example that he gives that I've been using as well is if you have a soul mission, or if it's your soul lesson to learn unconditional love, you are going to be met with betrayal over and over again until you understand betrayal to the point where you can see past the betrayal and still love someone. Because that is the true definition of unconditional love. And it resonates so much. And I think that example specifically resonates so much because for me on my journey, I think what I think that is my lesson, actually, unconditional love, but more so for myself than for another person. I haven't been met with betrayal, but I think more so feeling misunderstood by people. I think I've had so many people misunderstand me, and I feel like not necessarily intentionally, but subconsciously, because I'm a very strong mirror. I think I have a very, very strong sense of self. It's always been in my nature to be very honest, and not just honest with the people around me, but like honest with myself. And the journey that I've been on, my self journey, I've been, the amount of reflection that I do on myself, I feel like is very triggering to so many people, because there are so many people who are afraid of themselves or just afraid of how great they can be. So people naturally, as we do, I think we all naturally compare ourselves to others, because sometimes it's really hard to be able to measure yourself in that way, even though it technically doesn't make sense, because every single person is on their own journey. Every single person has such different circumstances. So to measure yourself against someone is tough, because they didn't get to where they are the same way that you got to where you are. So even if there are certain things where you started at the same time, it's just like it all happens differently, and everyone has different paces. So really the best measure that you can have of your own growth is to measure yourself against yourself, to measure yourself against past versions of yourself. And I've been very fortunate to come up to be able to understand how to use other people as mirrors rather than to compare myself to them. And I think for a lot of people, that's a tough thing to understand, and it's a tough thing to do. It's a tough thing to look at somebody else who, I was going to say you admire, but I don't, that's not exactly what. So there's qualities that we admire and dislike from every other person, right? I think it's also a little bit of me trying not to gas myself up too much, but why the fuck not, right? I'm fucking awesome, bro. And it's like everybody should feel that way about themselves. But the thing is when you're somebody who feels that way about themselves, or when you have gone through, or when you're able to go so deep with yourself, there are people who kind of just naturally envy that, because it's scary sometimes. I think the scary thing about seeing somebody else be able to live in depth is your fear that you'll drown in your own depth. But it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful in the deep end. I think that's a good place to leave it. So yeah, I really hope that you got something from this if you are watching this right now. I'm a life coach. If you would like one-on-one sessions with me to explore your own depth, if you would like me to reflect back to you things that might be unconscious to you, hit me up. Link in the description. Information in the description. I do tarot as well. Other than that, I want to thank you so much for listening, and until next time, bye.